I'm going to be going through some basic grading rules for a men's t-shirt. So I'm going to be using a miniature version of a men's t-shirt block today so you can see everything on screen. Usually between sizes small, medium and large, etc. has about 5 centimeters difference in the circumference of the body. So spread between the front and the back, the front will expand by 2.5 and the back will also expand by 2.5 in width. The length of the garment really depends on what you're doing, so if it's a jersey and it's quite stretchy you might not need to add any length at all because during wear it will drop a bit and stretch downwards. But if you do want to, 1 centimetre is usually enough between each size. The sleeve grading I will be going through in the video because there's more details to go through. So let's get started. This is the front of my body and I've drawn these red lines vertical to mark where I'm going to be slashing and opening the pattern. First of all, I've spread the 2.5 centimeters across the front, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vertical lines and they have 5mm increase on each line. So I'm going to be slashing it down and opening it 5mm. Now the neckline needs to be opened and widened in each size, or if you're making it smaller it needs to be decreased. So there's always one line down the middle, and then you want to change the sizes of your shoulders as well, so they need to be opened or closed. And the armhole will also need to be changed, so the last one is going to be slashed through the armhole. You can spread this 5mm into 2 parts, so you can slash through the armhole and add 2.5mm and then add the other 2.5mm just at the edge, so you just extend this 2.5 and then come down. Or you can not slash through the armhole at all and add the 5mm just on the edge, so extend this by 5mm. It's entirely up to you, and this is just what I've done as an example. Some places might have different measurements and they might split the 5mm into even smaller parts just to spread it evenly. If your pattern is quite straight, feel free to just add the 1 centimeter at the bottom, but if you have a curved pattern it's much better to just slash it across the middle. If you watch the video I've done on extending sleeve lengths, it tells you how to extend a pattern when it's got curved edges, so that can be applied to bodies as well and even legs, sleeves, anything you want to. So whatever measurement you've changed at the front, make sure you do exactly the same at the back, and the best thing is to slash it exactly the same positions in the back as well. So if your side neck to your slash line on the shoulder is about 3 centimeters, position it in the same way on the back as well. So this is my miniature sleeve and I've drawn a line down here to match the increase in the armhole in the front. So if you measure from the end of your armhole up to your slash points, let's say this is 2.5 centimeters, you want to measure exactly the same position on the sleeve. So from here upwards you want about 2.5, so these two will match. And then you want to draw a vertical line parallel to your grain straight down to the hem, and whatever you open here and added into the length of the armhole you want to add back into here as well. And you will do the same on the back body, so do the same on the back of the sleeve as well. On the sleeve head you need to add 5mm upwards or downwards depending on if you're going up or down a size, and then just smooth it out so that your sleeve cap is a bit taller as well. If you want to change more into the bicep, so whatever you've added here and here, add them together and your bicep needs to be about 1.5 or 2 centimeters bigger or smaller each size. So let's say these two have increased your pattern by about 8mm. Then you need to add another 1.2. What you need to do then is to increase the armhole upwards. So I would draw a line right across the middle of my armhole, cross chest, like this. So if you need to add 1.2 more into the width of the bicep, you want to split that into 2 because the sleeve includes the front and the back. So we'll split the 1.2 into 2 parts, So that's 6mm in the front and 6mm in the back. So you want to slash across this mark and stretch it upwards or close it by 6mm. If you do the same on the back, then the whole armhole circumference will be increased or decreased by 1.2 centimeters. Once you've marked this line, let's say halfway down the armhole, you want to mark exactly the same position, so from the top of the sleeve halfway down. So exactly the same as what you did at this point. Where you slash here, you want to mark exactly the same position on the sleeve. So when that increases, this increases. When that line increases, you want the same position to increase as well. So once you've marked it, draw another vertical line like you did here and open up. Remember to always remeasure your sleeve and remeasure your armhole just to make sure that everything fits together again. When you come to actually slashing open or close the pattern, cut along the red lines like I've marked, and you want to open it like this. And sometimes it's quite hard to alter because your pattern gets a bit wobbly. So what I would do is I'd always tape one side down to the paper, and if I'm increasing by 5mm, I would mark it 5mm from the edge a couple of times, and then draw a straight line to join those marks together. So I know that is 5mm. And then what I would do is I would also draw a line across it so that I know these should line up. So you want to position it so that the red line is matching that line, like this, and to make sure your edge is right against that pencil line. Once you've done it, place a ruler across the red line this way to make sure that the pattern is level. And if you're happy with it, put a weight down onto the pattern so that it doesn't move. Then I would tape that shut. At least two right at the ends so that it doesn't move. And that's your opening. And then what you would do is, just like any other video on extending or decreasing the lengths of patterns, join the ends together. So the side of my neck and the end of my shoulder line. Just smooth it out into a straight line. You want to smooth out this corner and that corner. So go from the end to end, draw a straight line, and then add your seam allowances. And that's how you apply the extra measurement in all of these lines.